To say that Hololive English Myth was impactful to the English-speaking VTuber community would be a severe understatement. Each one of these 5 girls has made huge impacts to the technology, culture, standards, music, presentation, and much more for the VTuber community as a whole, but especially in the English sphere. But my personal favourite example of how Myth changed the VTuber industry is with Mori Calliope, who defined the standards going forward of what VTuber music could and would be. This was because Callie was the only full-time musician in the generation, the others only releasing covers and singles every now and then. Mori Calliope, however, debuted with an entire 4-song EP titled Deadbeats, portraying her personality, kayfabe, and musical style. This then set a standard for other VTubers who took music seriously to either debut with an original song, cover, or sometimes even release an entire EP like she did. Moreover, Callie's focus on the genre of rap and hip-hop made her stand out from the crowd of wannabe J-pop idols and prove that what you do doesn't determine your success as a VTuber, but only how well you do it. This video is the first in what will be a series in which I dissect and analyse Mori Calliope's musical history in terms of styles, genres, theming, and lyricism, plus giving some of my own personal opinions. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the Deadbeats EP.
So could you let go of your soul for me? I'm not asking for much, do me a favor and die. 失礼しますが死んでください。Kill him with the bass. D, bitch. Murder is so fucking kawaii. Kawaii ne. Kill him with the bass till we get him to say, alright, yay! Steak in the outside, so the dose.
While it isn't technically her first song on the EP, I'm going to start with失礼しますが RIP, more commonly known as Excuse My Rudeness but Could You Please RIP, or just RIP, because it was the first song that everybody heard, being featured on her debut stream on the 12th of September 2020. As I mentioned earlier, this EP has 3 main goals: to introduce Mori Calliope as a person, Mori Calliope as a character, and showcase her musical style. And by those metrics, I think that RIP is a brilliant introductory song for Callie at the time. On this song in particular, Callie balances on the boundaries of being cool and being cringe in a way that is so unapologetically herself that you can't help but smile. The bouncy drums, booming horns, and crazy synths that come in the chorus are just so danceable and radiate a brazenly confident, don't give a fuck energy. And this is only reinforced by Callie's fast-paced lyrics containing clever wordplay, colloquial language, blatant bragging, and even curse words. All of this coolness then boils over and becomes cringe with how ridiculously hyperbolic it is. Like, seriously, murder is so fucking kawaii. How can you not laugh reading that out loud? But then that cringe feeling gets overridden by the fact that the song genuinely does make you feel cool, creating a unique blend of ironically and unironically enjoying the song, both for the comedy it provides and the earnest badass feeling it tries so hard to evoke. The closest thing that I can compare this to is Shadow the Hedgehog, who's trying so hard to be mature and edgy, riding motorcycles, saying damn and using a gun, that it becomes funny, but at the same time, you can't help but admit that he is a little cool. This dichotomy perfectly represents Callie's personality, constantly making self-deprecating jabs at herself and making every serious adventure she invests time into just a little bit comedic to deflect criticism. This is a trend which Callie didn't just depict around the time of her debut, but continued to depict for many years, appearing in future songs like Ga, Huge W, and Sneaking. On top of this core dichotomy within the song representing Callie's personality, the little jokes within the lyrics and fake-out idol introduction showcases Callie's playful and joking nature. Plus, Callie really couldn't have made a debut single and not put in a reference to one of her new friends at Hololive.
Actually, whatever that means. Yes, whatever that means. Come a little closer, cause the Brody then laugh at me.
So that's one of the main goals achieved, so what about Callie's lore? How does RIP represent her kayfabe as the first apprentice of the Grim Reaper? Well, admittedly, the song isn't too focused on telling much of a story or in-depth lore, and is more content with simply theming the lyrics around death. References to being a reaper, killing people, and transitioning from reaping to making music pervade the lyrics, to create a general understanding of what Callie is and what she's about, without giving us too much detail into her deeper backstory. I'm personally fine with this, as this is supposed to be the lead single for the EP, and it is fairly difficult to tell a story while also creating lyrics that are catchy, plus drawing attention to the arguably more important third goal of showcasing Callie's musical style. Having chosen the genre of hip-hop, something which was basically untouched in the VTuber market before Callie, it was RIP's primary aim to exhibit Callie's skill and style in the genre, and I believe it does exactly that. Callie seamlessly pulls off multisyllabic internal and end rhymes with daisy chains connecting them, constructing her fast-paced and regularly shifting flow. Moreover, she continually utilizes consonants within her rapping to create a more satisfying flow and aids in her impactful and confident delivery. Additionally, her use of both Japanese and English rap, even when in mostly separate sentences, displays her rapping ability across languages, which is particularly impressive and valued in the English-speaking VTuber community, which still frequently uses Japanese and shares a similar audience with the Japanese market. Moreover, her personal rapping style is conveyed with clever wordplay, a fast, continuous flow, and accentuation of particular words. While not being mind-blowing and definitely not her best rapping ever, it's safe to say that Callie delivered way more than anyone was expecting her to at the time and gave an excellent first impression on anyone who was interested in her music. So to conclude my assessment of Excuse My Rudeness but Could You Please RIP, I believe that it is a very fun, catchy, and cool/cringe song that effectively achieves everything it sets out to do. It briefly introduces Mori Calliope's kayfabe, showcases her humorous and cringe yet self-aware personality, and conveys her style and prowess when it comes to rapping.
Okay, 2020 Mobbin Mythical Crew. We are Hololive Myth. Let me show you how we do. Did you really think I'd rap like that? Sorry, tough luck.
Only one day after Callie's debut, she uploaded the music video for Reaper Car Rapper, the official first song on the Deadbeats EP. The track follows fairly similar beats to RIP, aiming to simply introduce the audience to Mori Calliope. The song even starts with the same fake-out cutesy voice into more traditional low-pitched rapping, which I think gets a little bit annoying after a few re-listens, but I'm fine with it in the context of the song at release. What sets Reaper Car Rapper apart from the other songs in the EP, however, is the instrumental, being made up of a cappella beatboxing from Callie herself. Now, a VTuber debuting with a song composed by themselves is already pretty rare and impressive, but for that song to be an a cappella rap song is genuinely unique, creative, and showcases Callie's skills as an artist in a way that's never really been seen before in the VTubing space. And I mean, I just get really excited when Callie composes her own songs, because it basically never happens any further than a top line. Anyways, back to the song itself. I think it's actually really effective what it's trying to do. Callie's instrumental isn't super crazy or danceable, but it provides a good rhythm to nod your head to and builds up over the song in a really satisfying way. Meanwhile, Callie's lyrics tell a much clearer story about her character lore while simultaneously giving us a deeper understanding of her as a person than RIP does. This can be seen when Callie stresses out about messing up mid-verse, or mentions that she makes music as an escape for her emotions, or just through her little jokes and gags throughout the song. On top of this, her flow is far more dynamic and seamless, with daisy chains connecting basically the entire song together. Furthermore, the Japanese double entendre at the end with shogunai ne, translating to either it can't be helped or there is no salt, meaning that she has no animosity towards her haters, proudly displays Callie's proficiency with both language and creative writing. Like, where was all this stuff in RIP? Like, I know I shouldn't compare the two songs, but I really think that the more focused scale and experimentation of Reaper Car Rapper leads it to achieve the same goals as RIP, only better. The only thing RIP has over this is, I guess, commercial appeal and catchiness, which is why it was chosen to lead the EP. So now that Calliope Mori Calliope's introductions are out of the way, it's time to delve into the first regular song of the EP, released the day after Reaper Car Rapper. Of course, I'm talking about
This song makes no sense.
In short, this song is okay. The instrumental was once again made by Callie herself, although to a lower quality in my opinion. It's just a standard trap hip-hop beats, and the lack of originality compared to Reaper Car Rapper just reveals the repetitiveness and uninspired production. Well, what about the lyrics? For probably the most rap-heavy song on the EP, how does it compare lyrically to the others? Well, again, they're okay. To speak on what it does right, Callie's flow is nearly supersonic and repeatedly daisy-chains multisyllabic rhymes together. Her vocal intonations are also incredibly creative, fun, and showcases Callie's dorky personality. But that's basically where the compliments end. My main issue with the lyrics of Deadbeats is the fact that in roughly 3 minutes, with an incredibly fast pace, she says basically nothing of value. Sure, she showcases her personality and writes about murder and music, conveying her kayfabe, but these things were already established perfectly well in the previous 2 tracks, and done better in both of them. Also, some of these lyrics just don't make too much sense. It feels more like Callie was rapping just for the sake of rapping and not because she had something she really wanted to say. Like, the first verse is kind of about how Callie is incredibly efficient in her for-hire reaping job and her deadbeats are her clients, which contradicts her lore, I might add, but it turns out she's just a homicidal maniac who loves killing people. And then the second verse is a critique on the rap industry because apparently they have bad instrumentals, rely on auto-tune, and don't make coherent songs. But she's way better than that, she swears! And then the chorus is just a bunch of vague statements that don't really mean anything. Like, See how it feels? This song is just really disconnected and a bit meaningless, especially since she's kind of doing everything she criticizes in the second verse. Callie even begins the song by saying this song makes no sense, which on one hand doesn't absolve the fact that she wrote a non-cohesive song, but also that is such a Callie thing to do and I love it. You know, as much as I enjoy seeing Callie's dorky personality on show in her music, I do feel like this song almost takes it a bit too far. Like, the over-the-top nonsense lyrics kind of prevent me from taking the song too seriously, which feels less like a creative choice like what was done on R.I.P., and more like a defense mechanism to mask the fact that Callie was rushed into creating a song that she wasn't completely happy with. But that's just my theory. Also, the song ends on this really random sex joke that comes out of nowhere, takes about 20 seconds to deliver, and feels kind of disingenuous considering Callie's discomfort with sex jokes in her live streams. So I don't really know why she felt the need to include it there. So overall, the song is fairly fun and enjoyable if you just listen to it with your brain off or in the background, but if you actually analyze it and look at the song as you would the others on the EP, you begin to realize how pointless and confused the song really is. The song actually became really popular among Japanese fans, which, yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually, seeing as they would have no idea what she's saying. And now, for the final song on the EP, released one day after Deadbeats, we have Live Again. Live Again? Live Again? I'm just gonna call it Live Again, okay? Get angry all you want, I'm invincible on the internet. What are you gonna do, dox me? Anyway, this song is easily my favourite off of the EP, by a wide margin. It's actually one of my favourite Mori Calliope songs ever, and she's released over 60 of them. The track was once again produced by Callie and is easily my favourite instrumental off the EP. I don't know too much about music theory, but what I do know is that this song has some beautiful piano chords, a bittersweet violin, and some bouncy drums all dancing in tandem together thanks to some truly brilliant mixing from Kokoro Beats, who mixed the entire EP and made the instrumental for R.I.P. All of this gives the song such a melancholy but optimistic feeling to it, which ends perfectly to Callie's lyrics. Speaking of which, her lyricism is really at its peak here on the EP, cleverly blending together English and Japanese lyrics both across and within lines. Callie's signature use of daisy chains and unstoppable flow appears here too, only alongside her singing in the chorus. Not only is her singing great here, but it showcases her determination to go out of her comfort zone, trying things that she's not the best at, and to play around with genre. Like, Callie could have easily made it just an entirely rap-focused career at Hololive, but her dedication to improving in her singing and trying new and experimental things is what makes her special. And all of that is foreshadowed in Live Again. And back to her actual lyrics. The content of them is genuinely beautiful. The song is about goodbyes and the complicated emotions that come with them. There's a sadness at having to leave those you love, but there's always hope that you'll get to see them again. Callie then ties this in with the secondary theme of the song of appreciating life while you still have it, living in the moment and enjoying time with your loved ones instead of stressing about leaving them and the inevitability of Mori. These very optimistic topics naturally lend themselves to some sappy lyrics, and I love that Callie isn't afraid to say those sorts of things. She isn't afraid of how she'll be perceived as a rapper because she says some friendship is magic ass bars, and that shows some real maturity that Deadbeats lacks in my opinion. Plus, on top of that, some of the lyrics in the song are genuinely poetic. Callie wrote some really beautiful things, which combined with her beautiful singing and beautiful rapping and beautiful instrumental, creates a transcendent musical experience. Live Again shows off Callie's best lyricism, singing, rapping, and production while also actually having something interesting to say. Like, this song could have been put into Your Mori and it would have fit in perfectly. And I think that that's a perfect note to end Deadbeats on.
君たちと私いつまでも今日も生きてよかったと言ったら幸せ So say goodbye La da 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 See you again sometime A song in my heart この瞬間が宝物また君に会いたいと言ったら幸せ Signing off
Now, before I conclude this video by giving my thoughts on the EP as a whole, I'd like to briefly mention the music videos, because every song off the EP got one. They're all made by Callie herself because, well, of course they are, you should know this by now how she works. R.I.P. clearly got the most attention with fully animated lyrics, backgrounds, and a little stop-motion Callie. How cute. It's not that great as a music video to be honest, but for a debut song that she animated herself, it does all that it needs to and more. Then the others, also done by Callie, are fairly basic. More lyric videos than music videos, but they're fine. They convey the vibes of the song with basic animation and all the song lyrics for those who can't hear, so I guess they're better than nothing. Especially considering she made them herself and she just debuted, give her a break. Extra credit to the Reaper Car Rapper video for its use of Callie's live 2D model, making it feel sort of like she's performing one of those one-take challenges which ties into the lyrics as well. Really, I just think that it's more interesting than the others. So in conclusion, how was the Deadbeats EP? Well, we got an incredibly inventive and well-executed introduction in Reaper Car Rapper, a catchy and danceable introduction to Callie's music in Excuse My Rudeness but Could You Please RIP, a decent rap song to turn your brain off to in Deadbeats, and a fantastically heartwarming and bittersweet song about goodbyes showcasing Callie's singing in Live Again. All added up, I think this EP is decent. The songs don't really build up to anything greater, and they could be released as 4 separate singles and still achieve the same purpose. But then again, for an introductory EP, I never really expected that. Most of the songs fail to say anything more significant about the world we live in, or even much about Callie as a person, but then again, for an introductory EP, I never really expected that. This EP isn't anywhere near Callie's best work, but then again, for an introductory EP, I never really expected that. For the goal it's trying to achieve, Deadbeats absolutely hits it out of the park. It conveys the basics of Callie's kayfabe, demonstrates her personality and quirks, and also her musical ability and tenacity within it. In fact, with the small exception of Deadbeats being a bit lackluster, I don't think this EP could have achieved its goal much better. Maybe if Cursed Night was included in the EP, it could show off a bit more of Callie's range and give more meaning to the songs with context, but that's really all I can think of. I mean, I still return to the songs on this EP regularly because of how well they hold up, Live Again especially. Plus, Callie's early songs have a certain vibe to them that just hasn't been replicated since the release of Your Mori, and I just find it so charming. And it's also important to remember, Callie did all of this within only a few months before debut, while also managing everything else that the other Myth girls did. And it's because of this Herculean amount of effort that Callie put into her debut that got her to where she is now, as one of the most popular and influential English-speaking VTubers. So, yeah, those are my slightly educated thoughts on the Deadbeats EP. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just needed an outlet to let my Mori Calliope obsession out, and I hope that it can briefly entertain or inform anyone else stuck in this rabbit hole. In the next video I'll hopefully make in a series I'll be looking at the singles Callie released between Deadbeats and Your Mori, those being Cursed Night, Off With Their Heads, Ibasho, and Spiral Tones. Bye bye!